Hey, I'm McBee and I Brick, and welcome to another edition of the Seller Stream. I've got with me tonight Bricks, and we are waiting on BrickLink. Supposedly, I had the communication. I can show you, but I'll leave privacy as privacy is. But fool me once. Hopefully, we get somebody. But anyways, we were just discussing, of course, the news of the week, the TRU stuff, and what we think is going to happen. So, I stopped by my local Toys R Us on Friday at 1 p.m. and it was packed at 1 p.m. Holy, we have BrickLink.
Hi.
What's up, Jack? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. We were just going to go into talking about Toys R Us, but I guess we can talk about BrickLink instead.
You can talk about Toys R Us. It's totally up to you.
Well, no. We'll make use of the special guest since we have an actual special guest.
Let me just turn this up. All right, I think we're good.
All right, so go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do at BrickLink. You can give a history of your time there if you want.
Okay, well, great. First of all, I'm sorry for taking so long to get on the show. I know you've invited me plenty of times before, and I have issues on Sunday nights with my toddler getting someone to watch her. So, but thank you for having me on. I'm Jacqueline. I work for BrickLink. I've been there for about 4 years, and right now I'm the community manager. I started off in technical support, and just over the years, just definitely had an interest in the community, and still loving what I do. Pretty busy these days, but we're expanding our team so that customer service is a little less overwhelmed. So yeah, as you know, you've been a huge help submitting bug reports and all those things, and we definitely appreciate your help.
Well, some of them, I don't know if they're bug reports or they're just annoying. I know that way back when with the cookies thing, that was me fighting a battle for all my buyers that couldn't log in and buy. But right. I'm glad that all got fixed.
Yeah, we've definitely come a long way as our small team of it was just me and the general manager in the beginning, and we brought over a few really good developers from Korea, and so now we're about 15 people, and we're definitely now able to tackle all of those bugs, and we didn't even have anyone in QA for a while, so it's definitely why people are feeling it a little bit there for a while, but now we have a QA manager, so should be a lot less painful.
You guys are moving on up. You're using the latest software from Atlassian and everything else to track your bugs and report them over. So
right, yes.
Yeah. So it's not, well, I'm saying that because it's not built into the spaghetti code. So that's a positive. It's separate from, and it's not based upon, train of thought written code, which is one of the, if people don't know it, that's why BrickLink is having these huge hurdles that they're having to overcome, because it's a train of thought type of code that went into this development of it. And with that, I mean, you could throw something about X right in a passage of 1, 2, 3, and it'll flow and work. But if you didn't write it, it's going to be hard to find it.
Right. Yeah. I'm not a developer, but I know that it's very difficult to work with because it's such an old code. So definitely would have been easier to start over, but then we wouldn't have the core features of BrickLink. So we're just trying to update it slowly over time so that it's not a shock to the system.
I'm actually a proponent of leaving it up and then just having an alt site and slowly saying tough, like this works and we can keep speed up on this one.
Well, yeah.
I get the honoring of the initial developer, how BrickLink came about and everything else, and totally agree with that. But at the same time, you guys are fighting a daily battle with that. And for people, I'm saying this because a lot of people wonder why there's issues with this or issues with that, and it's because of the spaghetti code. Because you can't anticipate all of these things happening, and it could be written in a passage, 5,000, 10,000 lines of code down the road where, he had thought about it and said, okay, well, here's the fix for it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Not unfortunately, well, not everyone thinks like a developer. So, I understand why it's really frustrating to, a lot of people why certain things just don't work as intended immediately. But, it is what it is with the code, like you mentioned, that's just so fragile and complicated.
Well, just know that you've got people in. If there's a corner for start over fresh and roll it in, that I'll be in that corner if you need somebody.
All right. Well,
I'll be a cheer squad hype guy for it.
Well, maybe we'll start a suggestion in the discussion forum and see.
I would get destroyed.
Good luck with that. You can do that. That's all you.
I'm afraid of some of those people.
They're a tough crowd. That nothing.
They are a tough crowd. I do feel for you guys when you post there. It's definitely some people that don't want change, and some
right.
People, yeah.
But I've met many of those people in person, and they're so different off the forums. So it's a lot easier to take the criticism than it used to be. Going to like Brick World and BrickCon and all the roundtables, and we went to Germany. So I met a lot of the local German sellers, and it just makes it a lot easier because I know that it's just sort of a lot of people's place to sort of vent, and it's good for them because offsite, we actually get really good feedback.
I've been guilty of that as well. I've been very guilty of that at BrickCon when you guys introduced Mosaic.
Right. But you've also been really supportive, and obviously I've met you in person a few times, so I know how you. You know
that the intent is in the right place. It's not. Right, I'm not a troll. I might not always phrase it 100% correctly, but there's no trolling there. There's all positive intent of. We're all on the same team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it makes it a lot easier. I can say, actually, that's Big B. That's my friend. He doesn't mean it that way.
Yeah.
They have had to do that a couple of times.
I apologize. So we've got the first question for you. It is, so I gotta be perfectly honest, full transparency. I told him to be easy on you. I said, if we want to get BrickLink on as a regular guest to discuss changes, if we as a whole want to have positive input on seller tools that may be changing and ideas that we have, you got to play nice. Okay? So I didn't ask anybody to withhold any questions or anything like that. We're not CNN, but that was a joke. But the first one comes from Xfinity21 out of the UK. He is a BrickLink seller as well. His question is, first it's a statement. BrickLink is awesome. His question is, what's Jacqueline's favorite part of working at BrickLink?
My favorite part? Really, right now, I sit next to our Lego specialist, and he teaches me about the catalog every single day, and the history of BrickLink, because he's been around a lot longer than me. So really, just learning about Lego every day and BrickLink and the catalog is so much fun. I can't believe that it's my job sometimes. I'm really, really lucky. So yeah, I love what I do, love learning about BrickLink and Lego in particular.
So with the upcoming changes to BrickLink, you guys are moving forward in the world of Lego. There is more that excites Lego fans than just Lego. I mean, it's proof. With every genre of Lego, there's a highly accepted third party or custom group that they all latch onto. I'm a train guy. Everybody loves Brick Model Railroaders instructions and their decal sheets. There's Citizen Brick out there. There's Brick Arms. Right. There's a bunch of different companies that are out there, and we all sort of get the feeling that you guys are going to be branching into these third party and custom goods like that.
Wonder what gave you that idea.
Because that's naturally where you would go.
Right.
Where a company would go. But my question is how does the catalog people feel about adding to the existing Lego element? For instance, Lego always has BrickLink always has an element name of ABC or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. If there is a moderation to the color in it, say that there's a blended color of gray and green, there'll be a PBO1.
Right.
And then if it's printed, there's a C followed by 2 more digits.
Well,
now,
yeah.
There's a lot of items in the catalog where there's only an entry for 123 PBO1 CO1, which means the dual color printed piece. But we all know that hardcore customs people want to roll it back and have access to the element that's just 123, or just access to the element that's 123 PBO1.
Right.
Because it's the unprinted version, or it's the element that went through the initial test process that only had 1 color injection on it. Now, I've been experimenting a little bit trying to add some items like this to the BrickLink catalog. Have been successful, but I'm just wondering if this is someplace that you guys are going to be going with in the future as far as more acceptance, because it's never been an issued piece. I mean,
so we're talking about the current numbering system with third-party items, correct?
Yep, first-party items.
First-party.
Lego items that have not had print on them. Okay, for instance, you have, this is an unprinted piece with 2 color injections. So this would be the 123 PBO1 instead of being the 123 PBO1 CO1. Follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So you guys have the CO1 in the catalog, but no PBO1, or no 123 straight up with no print at all.
Right. So that's something
what I'm trying to do is honor the hardcore Lego enthusiast that wants to have access to real Lego elements that haven't been modified. So they haven't been wiped, they haven't been painted, they haven't been dyed. They're as Lego intended them to be made at that moment of the elements process.
Right. Well, they should. There's some that are in there if it's the base part, and then we have, you know, if it's decorated, then it will have the.
But with ones like that, it has never come undecorated. They've never come without having the 2 coloration, because it's.
So I just want to know what the base part.
Yeah. Like somewhere along the line, somebody threw like a couple handfuls of ones without 2 colors into their pockets, and you know. John came along later and threw the ones without printing into his pockets, or however this whole thing works with the rare pieces.
Right. Yeah, no, so I definitely support the ability to find the base part if you're in a decorated part, or to be able to know what that is and then find every other variation. What we want to do is, and it's just going to be a pretty big undertaking, is to do a tag system so that it doesn't actually change the numbering system as it is, because to change anything right now is a huge undertaking, especially if it's in stores. If it's something that's just been added to the catalog, you can change it really without many side effects. But I mean, think of how many sellers have certain parts listed, how they are, any changes.
What I'm going to try to do, if it's okay with BrickLink, is I will add them. I will suggest them. I'll input them because they're not in the catalog.
Right.
Reason being is because, I mean, if this is part of the Lego process as they're made, you know, I think it should be in there as well.
So it's something that I would have to talk to the catalog admins about. The 2 catalog admins are, one's in California and one's in Germany, and they work remotely, and they've been doing it for a long time. So anything like that, we discuss with them first. And we also have our Lego specialist works on the catalog too. So he's like the liaison between our team and them. So something I can talk to them about. I don't see why, I obviously don't want to say anything that they're going to disagree with, but I mean, if it's made by Lego, I would rather it be in the catalog. That's my opinion as well. I want people to be able to find anything ever made by Lego on BrickLink. So,
well, reason why this also goes to helping BrickLink possibly is when you guys bring in those third-party custom printed on Lego element items, they're probably going to have that same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as the existing BrickLink Lego element because it's a Lego element.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have the PB if it's the same multicolor, but it'll have a different C after it. And of course, it'll have a completely different company name associated with it. So that if you were just searching for Lego, it wouldn't show up in your search for Lego. But if you were searching for, you know, Super Joe's custom printed Star Wars helmets, it would fall under theirs.
Right.
Or if you were searching all of them for that element, it would show up as well.
Ideally, that would be the perfect system. A lot of people are worried about or upset about any third-party items being in the catalog tree, or even the possibility of them being mixed in with Lego. Even, you know, if they're white and printed not by Lego, people are really concerned about that. So yeah, but ideally it would be that type of system where it's very clear that it's not Lego, but you could find the base part of that.
Right. And we talked about this as well, that, you know, that ultimately it should come down to, you know, expanded user settings that the user could go in there. And of course it would be set as default for everyone across the board to be Lego only. And that's what they assume. And as people sort of slowly get used to it, they open it up their search if they want to. You know, but it's ultimately up to them what they search for. If their results are showing every company across the board, then they don't have their default setting for what company sets properly.
Right. I think how it is now is you can, by default, it's BrickArms and Lego, so that the, you know, casual user comes in. They're not really a hardcore, maybe Lego purist, so, you know, they want to be able to find anything like that. And we really, BrickArms wasn't just a, you know, a quick decision. You know, it was something that we talked about for years, and we really think that they're good enough quality. The demand is there. We've been fans of BrickArms for a long time, so it wasn't something that was just rash. And to be honest with you, we don't, even though we're open to it, we have no plans to add anything else right now. It's just not, we're focusing on mobile, and after that, seller tools. So really, it's just it's just something we just really wanted to add BrickArms because we've been talking to Will, working with him for years. So it was just, we just want to get it done by the end of the year. So, but yeah, it's nothing like that. Nothing else is going to come for quite some time. As far as I know, we have no plans for that. So just wanted to put that out there.
Hey, no flames.
But yeah, so far, you know, I mean, it was a tough time when we introduced BrickArms, but everyone's sort of settled down, and, you know, there's still a good amount of sales, and doesn't seem to be negatively affecting the site or the sellers. So that's,
well, not everybody gets the humor.
right.
I think that was probably 80% of the problem, is the lack of either the lack of understanding the humor, or just wanting to be trolling on the newness of it.
Well, I understand it's a huge change in the core of what BrickLink has always been. It's just Lego only. And yes, Dan wrote the rules, and he did leave it pretty flexible, Lego only, unless it has something to do with Lego. So, you know, we do police the listings. It's what we're really concerned about are cloned items, clone counterfeit replicas, anything like that. We get rid of immediately. So we still are definitely keeping it clean on BrickLink.
Well, we got some messages of no Leppin.
No Leppin.
No Leppin.
No.
I actually have some friends that have already gotten Leppin off of BrickLink.
Recently? I hope not.
it was mixed in with some used.
It doesn't, honestly. I get all of the reports of any clones or even suspected clones, and really, it's very rare that I hear stuff like that. So, and in the beginning, I heard about it maybe a little bit more, but we're a very self-policing community. So if anything like that happens,
very much so. I mean, I just took negative feedback with pride, because I called out a seller that was selling used as new, and they were like, "Well, we didn't build it." we didn't build it. And I was just like, well, if you didn't build it, then why are the stickers on there? And like, my son just put them on there. And I was like, well, why did he apply them to exactly where you needed to put them on a set that has, you know, it was just like one of these, we didn't do that. Like,
that's a shame.
so
Well,
they had never bought on BrickLink before, and I put neutral feedback, and you know, they escalated and gave negative. But as a buyer, that really, it doesn't really affect me as much. I mean, anybody's going to look at it and be like, oh, what did he get negative feedback for? And be like, well, he gave neutral feedback and they gave negative, and then
right, and it's something that we need to address, and it's in our plans for this year. We're just really focused on mobile at the moment, but we want to improve the feedback system so that buyers aren't scared to leave negative feedback for really important things like that. I mean, you shouldn't have to be worried about retaliation. So even though you know, we can use our discretion as admins if we see that it's clearly retaliatory or, you know, just really inappropriate and it doesn't clearly fall within the rules, then we can use our judgment there. But yeah, we need to improve that system because it's really a shame that people are scared, buyers are scared to leave feedback because of they're worried they're going to get a negative feedback in return. So it's something that we're going to address. It's just a very hot topic issue. And
there's a couple buyers that are pretty hot and heavy to leave bad feedback, but I think that they've had enough of bad sellers for a long time, and they're just done with it.
Yes,
not me. There's a big buyer out there that does a lot of shopping around for parts and pieces. That's just calls people out like, "Hey, one bagger, what are you doing?"
I'm trying to think of who this is. I recognize that voice. Well, no, I mean, really, I wish more buyers were willing to do that, because then there's a lot of things that go unnoticed, and if negative feedback is left and it's, you know, there's patterns there that I notice, then we definitely look into things and make sure that the seller's not bending the rules in their favor. So
not that we've ever seen that before.
No, never. I've seen everything. It's a very interesting job to see from behind the scenes. You see a lot of interesting things.
All right, you ready for your next softball?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, from the Vikings Plunder comes, do you ever build Lego yourself?
Yes, I do. I'm not very good, but we do have like staff building nights. We had one on Friday, actually. We just stay after work and build, and our Lego specialist is there, and he kind of gives us tips and history behind every color and everything while we're building. So yeah, no, all the time. And whenever someone's kid comes to the office, they have a lot of fun because there's just Lego everywhere, especially behind my desk. So yeah, I usually stay after work and build.
I noticed that you and Russell had been adding a lot more stuff to the catalog lately. So
yes, yes.
No, I appreciate you guys taking the sets upon yourself, even those small, not as popular as other one sets, because to be perfectly honest with you, those are the ones that we all find on discount and, you know,
and
have to sometimes fumble through uploading.
Right. Yeah. It's become a hobby of mine, really, because it's such a learning curve, adding stuff to the catalog, learning the numbering system and how they like it named, because it's subjective, and it's a lot to learn, but you know, I really enjoy it, and it just helps me learn so much more and appreciate more with our contributors and admins and just everything. So yeah, we've been doing that a lot. So I've been staying up till like 2 a.m. getting inventories done and stuff like that, because I see the value of it. And Russell's tracking the value of it too, to see if we get things inventory quicker, how fast people part them out. And the minifigs are especially, they get sold.
You get those CMFs. CMFs got to roll. Like, I know that you guys have this fine line and you can't do it, but I'm just going to say it, like, you got to put those things out there like a month before they release. There's people that get boxes. There's people that get this. There's people that fall upon some store that's just like, I don't care what this tape reads, or I can't read this tape because I didn't graduate from middle school. So, the tape says do not put on shelf before.
Right, right. Well, that's the thing. We have a really good relationship with Lego, and whenever there's a listing that is not actually Lego, or and it gets sort of a lot of popularity, sometimes I'll hear from them and work with them to make sure that it gets corrected and stuff like that. So we definitely want to respect them and their timelines. But then we also have sellers who are saying, I do have this in hand, I need it added to the catalog now. So we definitely get pressure on that side. But traditionally, we've always added it when it's available in Europe. So I think it's in America, on the West Coast here, it'll be like 3 o'clock the day before is when we'll allow it to be a live catalog entry, because then it's officially released.
Yeah, sets are one way, but parts and pieces are another.
Right, right.
I've definitely found pre-release parts floating around in a color that was not available before and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, if you have something in hand that's sort of rare or whatever, definitely let us know, because we can always get things added quickly if needed, or that's why we have Russell on hand in the office, because he can always take care of the approval process if our other admins aren't available, or if it's like the middle of the night for them or something like that. So
I always try to get everybody to upload at least one set themselves, just to understand how arduous it is to do that. So they appreciate what the catalog admins are doing.
Right. Yeah, and they've been doing it for a long time, so right. It's definitely appreciate
I suggest that everybody to do it in BrickStock and then upload it to BrickLink from there, because it's easier.
Right. Yeah.
You guys should totally. By the way, you guys should totally buy BrickStock. You should buy the company. That is right now. It is your ultimate seller's tool. Like, you guys can roll out, like, look, we'll keep BrickStock up to date for the next 6 months and add a couple features that we're planning on adding to regular BrickLink when it rolls. But can you guys play with this for a little while we're working on mobile devices and this and that? Because you guys are, I'm always saying this because you guys are leveraging other companies. You guys have recently bought a number of smaller companies that deal with Lego and Lego Life, in order to sort of keep going with the Lego passion. You've seen that there's been a falling out on different online platforms that used to rule the Lego scene, and are you not supposed to talk about buying that company that you guys bought? You guys have had press releases about it.
Are you talking about Brickley?
Yeah.
Right. What would you like to know about that? It's really, that was to support the builder community, and we're close to that company, and we just really wanted to keep that platform alive and see what we could do for them. Right now, we don't have a plan for it really, because we need to focus on other things. So, but we're hoping that we can maybe restart that in the future. It's just it's just not really working out right now. With we don't have enough resources to keep it updated. So I wish I had time for that, but it just wasn't working out. So sort of on the back burner right now. But
once Lego Life fails, or they give it up, there's a platform. And plus,
it's geared toward children, right? Sorry?
It could be a better platform for AFOLs.
Right. Yeah. Lego Life is geared towards children, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we would love to have a space for like Brickley was a space for builders, Lego artists, and which is obviously something that we really support as well. So hopefully someday that will be a reality. It's just right now we definitely don't have any plan for that.
The next question we have for you comes from, let's see. Vikings plunder again. Can you give any hints to the seller on the seller's tools that may be coming? Meaning, what might we see?
Yeah, so we want to have improved APIs for sellers, like so they can possibly do some bulk buying with other BrickLink sellers. Uh, excuse me, B2B is very big on BrickLink, and we just want to make that, facilitate that, make it a little bit easier. We want to improve and sort of automate a lot of the processes that are a little bit complicated and take a lot of time. So, and make it a lot easier to communicate with buyers. I know that a lot of negative feedback in NSS or MPB cases arises from miscommunication between these international users. So, sorry, that's my toddler trying to get into the bedroom. She may make her way in at some point, so just giving you warning. So yeah, so of course, being in customer service for so long, I see a lot of those issues that people are struggling with, but really just we could help make that a lot better. So we want to help with maybe some on-site translation, or just some canned responses that are would automatically translate to the buyer or the seller. So like normalize a lot of the common situations that happen on BrickLink, because I've seen them all. So I could I'm writing all those things down and just ways to fix them. I really started planning seller tools, but then we decided that we really needed to throw all of our resources into mobile to make the site mobile friendly, because it's you know, its time has come. So, but once that's done, we actually do have to update a few things on the seller side to work with the mobile friendly site. So we're going to address the order detail page, make it a lot less complicated and more useful, and update the feedback process. But basically all the things that the sellers have been asking for, we're trying to implement that with seller tools. So, and it may not be everything at first, but we want to include everything. I know a lot of sellers complain about the order number not uploading to PayPal when they ship all their labels. It's something that we've been trying to address, but it's complicated with PayPal. Even with PayPal marketplaces, it's still something that's not possible. So, but we are working on addressing things like that. Everything everyone's been asking for so long, you know, it's on the list. So
I got a new one for you.
Okay.
Frozen prices. So I prefer to always have this element always selling for this price, no matter what it uploads at, no matter what the 6-month average is. I always want to sell it for this, because I find that it sells for this. Even though it might be 5 cents, I find that it sells for 2. Or even though it's 5 cents, I find that it sells for 7.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do something like that?
So just an average overall selling price, like what for?
Like this, like say that the 6-month average is 4 cents,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I'm of one of those people that, you know, thinks that it will do better at this price, whether it be higher or lower, and it's a very common element. So it's in, you know, half the sets out there, but I want to sell it for this all the time, and I'm sick of having to change it constantly.
Do you have to change it constantly? You can't.
Every time you upload it.
Well, right.
Unless you subsequently take that one element and take it away from the other ones and say, no, don't upload it with the 6-month average, upload it with the existing price that I have.
It should be something that we could do. I'm trying to think of all the available options, and if it is something that you can do right now. But yeah, I don't think it would be something that would be hard to implement if you just had like my price for an item. So when you're
my price, not my cost, my price.
My price.
My price.
Okay.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah, I'll see if there's any functionality. There's honestly so many different options that since I've never been a seller, it's something that I actually want to try doing myself because I'll never fully understand the seller unless I become one. So, I mean, I've been a seller on other platforms before in the past, when I had more time before I worked at BrickLink, but I really want to open my own BrickLink store. I may have to do it under a pseudonym, but there are so many options that a lot of people are unaware of. So sometimes I forget myself because there's so many. But I don't think there's one for that right now. But I think it's a really good suggestion, and I'll see what we can do about that. Just make sure I don't forget.
I had all of our regulars actually write up 5 questions for you, or 5 questions for seller tools. So we have a half an hour more of the show. I'm not going to go and give them all to you tonight, but is this something you would like to make on another basis? Like, can we say once a month we could possibly have BrickLink on?
Oh yeah. As long as I can have a regular babysitter on Sunday night, or if you make it during the week, then yeah, definitely I could come on more often. That would be great.
Okay. The next one is has to deal with the mobile tools. Any idea when they might be coming?
So we have a prototype right now, and it's looking really good. So I'm thinking it's hard to say.
Is it an app or is it mobile friendly?
So the plan has changed a few times, but so it's going to be mobile friendly. Okay. So yeah, when you go to BrickLink, you're not going to have to have to sign into a web app or anything like that. It's going to look a lot like BrickLink, just optimized for mobile devices. So the pictures are going to be a lot bigger. We're going to kind of condense some of the extra features and things that aren't used as much, so that it's a lot more friendly for a casual user. And we're hoping around, I'm going to say summertime, if that's vague enough.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but yeah, it's definitely coming this year.
So summer 2018.
Yes. Hopefully it'll be this year.
We can take that back and say summer 2019, and then pull a Scotty on them and roll it out early once it's ready. That's a crowd pleaser right there. Ooh, we got it early. No, it's really late, but ooh, we got it early.
Let's just say, yeah, in 2018 it should be.
All right. I'm down with that. All right.
It could be sooner, but could be in a few months. Could be. We'll see. But yeah, it's definitely coming along, and it's looking great. So stay tuned.
Are coupon codes in the work?
That is something that we have planned for seller tools. So we want to make it a lot easier to issue coupons, like coupon codes, without having to issue them to individual users, which I know is very time consuming. So yes, that's on the plan for seller tools as well.
Excellent.
Good. What about multiple coupons? Say that somebody has a $5 off coupon and then also a percentage off coupon. Would they start being allowed to use more than one coupon?
Ideally, yes. I mean, I know the system right now is very difficult, not very useful, because you have to send it out to each individual person, only one coupon per order. So I just want to make it just how it would be on any other website. You can do a percent, $1 off. You could use coupon codes, or just just basically how you could use coupons on any other site. So
I want people to be able to use all 3. I want them to be able to get, this. I want them to be able to have free shipping because they're on an APO. I want them to be able to get, a coupon for percentage off for this. I want them to, their, repeat offender coupon, and then this coupon, if possible. I mean, it works out for BrickLink because the more incentive there is for people to have savings, the more that they're going to ultimately spend, and you guys are able to make use of it.
Definitely. And we appreciate sellers like that want to give free shipping in any circumstance, APO especially. But
we all know the flop back on that is, you have those people that are already existent out there that refuse to ship to APO because they don't like to have to get up and leave the house and go to the post office.
Well, I mean, it's their choice. You know, they can sell to whomever they would like. But yes, you do have to do the customs form when you do the APO, correct? So it is takes a little bit more time, but you know, we appreciate the sellers that take that extra time, and definitely.
It's not just me. It's not just me. I'm just trying to inspire other people. But I like it that BrickLink is a supporter, or at least, you know,
of course,
the manager of everybody that's going to help me get out of trouble if I get into it is a supporter of it.
Yes, of course. You know, I support that 100%.
Yes.
Another seller tool question I have is, would it be possible someday to automate the payment of BrickLink fees? Like, we have to go in and manually pay every month? Do it kind of like eBay, where it charges our credit card or PayPal account automatically. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, so that's controversial as well. I know a lot of BrickLink sellers don't want that. I know a lot do, and a lot of, especially forum users, do not. With PayPal Marketplaces, their new payment solution that we are migrating to, it is possible to take fees out in advance. So like per order, you could take a fee so that you don't have to pay at the end of the month, which would lead to a lot less. There's no late fee charges or anything like that, but a lot of sellers, you know, they're really busy and sometimes they'll forget to pay their bill. And then if it's 2 months overdue, their privileges could get revoked. So, you know, and if it's the middle of the night, then there's no one there, there's no admin there to reinstate their privileges. So I want to avoid stuff like that. So it is possible, but we took the path that PayPal still basically manages everything, and so it's, you know, billing system hasn't changed right now, but it could, and it's just something that we would have to plan once we have some more time. But yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, even if it was optional to turn on automate paying, you know,
yeah,
that'd be fine for
I
me.
do worry it would be, because right now we already have a really complicated billing system, and it's whenever it's the 5th of the month, Shane and I are really feeling it behind the help desk, because a lot of people are confused about, because it changed a few years ago from how it was for like 15 years. So a lot of people don't understand why they're being charged for an order that was canceled after we ran billing and stuff like that. So I do worry about confusing people if we have like a dual system, but it's something that's going to come eventually, because I think they charge quite a lot in PayPal fees, I believe, which is what a lot of sellers tell me, and I know it would save probably a lot of time and money as well. So it's something that's going to happen eventually. It's just we haven't made a plan for it yet. But yeah, it is a possibility.
What about including the PayPal fees in with the BrickLink statement?
That I'm not 100%.
I'm stealing one of Food's questions. Go ahead, man.
I think I'm not sure. I'd have to check on that, because yeah, there's a lot of features that I asked for that are actually with the new payment solution they're not the same. So for instance, if you've migrated, then you'll see your merchant ID instead of your email address, because your email address can change, and you wouldn't have to update anything on BrickLink. So I'd have to look into that.
Has BrickLink ever thought about getting a deal with one of the postal agencies for rates?
Have we ever thought about it?
You know how some companies are able to negotiate a better shipping rate for their users, so that sort of eBay has done this, Amazon has done this. A lot of companies that utilize resellers are able to make a deal with USPS or Deutsche Post or someone else in order to, you know, help their sellers on their bottom line. There's a lot of people that still think the maximum you can ship for first class is 13 ounces. So
it's not, as far as I know, it's not something we've talked about yet, but definitely if it's going to save our sellers money and our buyers money, then yeah, definitely it's something that will.
That gives me more money to buy more Lego, to sell more Lego, because
right, exactly. Yeah. No, we're definitely in support.
Yeah.
anything that's going to help our sellers or our buyers buy more Lego, sell more Lego, then we're in support of that. So it's something we would consider. It's just something, as far as I know, we haven't talked about yet. But
well, I'm sort of going along with the whole, you guys have picked up this app, you've done this. There's definitely considerable future thought going into the what is Lego and what is the culture of Lego, and how do we stamp out a little piece of it, to be perfectly honest. I mean, your guys are a company, and that's fine. They're a company. You're supposed to do that. If you're a company that's not doing that, you're closing your doors, and you're having somebody lucky up in Canada buying all of your stores, and maybe 200 US stores, but the rest of the world are closing. Toys R Us.
Right.
So if you're not innovating, you're stuck. So I get that.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of talks that I may not be involved in because they're in Korean. But so it is possible that it's been talked about without me. But when we really start working on seller tools and putting all of our resources into that, that's something that we would have on our list. So definitely something I would like to do and talk to you about more.
Okay. Well, what about Philly? We talked about it. So you knew that question was coming. Come on.
When is it again? Beginning of April?
It is April 19th through April 22nd.
I'll have to look into that.
It's in the greater someplace outside of Philadelphia Expo Center.
Right. I have never been to Philly BrickFest. I would love to go. I would just have to speak with the team and see what's going on, because we're really busy right now, and but I'll check on it.
It's the YouTuber convention, to be perfectly honest with you.
No, I would love, if it were up to me, I would go to every single convention. I love meeting all the BrickLink users, hearing their stories of how BrickLink changed their life and helped them come out of the dark ages. And it's so much fun just representing BrickLink. I could talk about BrickLink all day. So I would love to go, and hopefully I can. So I'll see what I can do.
Who said it earlier? I think it was like X21 said it earlier, or one of the Brits said earlier, like, it's great being able to talk to other BrickLinkers, because to be honest with you, nobody else wants to talk about that shit. Nobody else wants to listen to that. And when you get other BrickLinkers together, it's like, oh wow, this is intriguing. I've wanted to talk about this for forever. So
yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah. And I've made a lot of friends by going to different conventions and stuff like that. So yeah, I do love it. It's just I also have my team I'm managing, and so it gets really busy. But hopefully I can go to something soon on the East Coast. I know it's been a while. I mean, we've gone as far as Chicago, but yeah, we haven't gone to anything on really in that area. So I'll see what I can do. All
right, well, push for it.
Okay.
Fan favorite. Basta asks, can you align the fees to only charge based on the sale price? Example. This is one that I never understood, and I always just advise people, don't have a sale, just lower your price. But I'm having a 20% off sale. I am still going to be charged 3% of the non-sale price.
Right. That's just how it's been done forever. We haven't changed that, where it's
is that a spaghetti code thing?
I don't know. When it comes to fees, it's it's controversial, so we try not to mess with that frivolously, obviously. But that's how it's always been done, as far as I know. So we haven't talked about changing it, even though a bunch of people do always ask me, it's a common question, why was I charged this amount when it should have been this? Honestly, I don't know.
It's because this was your price and this was your sale price, and it's calculated based upon your price, because they use in the calculation, they use the tag, let's call it, in the database. They use price, not sale price, in the queue, and that's how it's written as far as the SQL query to go and figure out what the fees are for everybody. I'm assuming.
Well, right. Yeah. It's something that's been asked quite a lot, and I don't know if there's enough demand to change it, then we'll always consider it. But no, it's just something that we haven't talked about. But I mean, it would definitely be possible to change it. but
well, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there with the spaghetti code because let's say a year ago, you and I had a discussion where I discovered that when you sorted by price, it wasn't necessarily sorting it by price. It was sorting it by price, not sale price. So that if somebody had a 50% off on a $1 item, instead of showing up where the 50 cent was, it was showing up at 50 cents way down here. So it'd be like $1.50, $1.01.
Uh-huh.
And it was because it was just the way that the sort was set up on the page. It was indexed, it was set up to sort by price and not sale price. So it was just different words were used.
I think I remember that actually. You said submitted the ticket about it, right?
Yeah, a couple of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it would be possible. It's just I'd have to look into that and see.
Well, no, because that's a lot of it comes from stuff like that with, you've got the frustration of the spaghetti code, and then you've got to figure out what tag or, what column that they used in the database in order to do this based upon what table. And, sometimes if you reference the wrong table, you reference the wrong column. It doesn't always.
Why, there's often sorting issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it. You guys have an unbelievably large and complex database. I'm never a fan of the 10 minutes a day that you guys go down to index it. I'm always going to say, my God, somebody run the analysis of how many sales are lost during that 10-minute period based upon what it would take to rent an hour's worth of server space on Amazon that you're already being hosted by. But I'm not the guy to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, it happens to me nearly every single night, and I'm at 9 minutes, and why me every time?
I'm throwing these things out there and not claiming them so that you can take them, run with them to management after you've done your cost analysis of how much more money BrickLink would make by staying open for that hour or 10 minutes.
We did promise Dan's mom, Aliska, that we would get rid of it eventually. So it is. We have talked about it, and we'll figure something out because.
The response that I got a long time ago, not from you, from another support person, was that, well, there's other companies that do that too. And I said, who? And their response back was Kmart. And I didn't reply back. And the only thing I could think was, should not be referencing a dead company as.
This is a support person at BrickLink?
Yes.
Oh, no. I'm sorry about that. That's
all right. No, it's fine. I didn't reply back. I mean, and to be perfectly honest, there are smaller companies that do go down for periods of time during the night, But BrickLink, in my opinion only, I think BrickLink's bigger than that. I think BrickLink's a lot more mature than that, and I think that there's just some of these stumbling blocks that you guys may not have heard so much about, or you heard so much about it that it is falling upon deaf ears. And I don't mean to do that if I'm saying things that are falling upon deaf ears, because it's been yelled about so much in the forum, and people have had, like 500 thread things, and there's people that are like, hey, this is the 499th comment on this thread, just letting everybody know, and things like that. The egging going. I'm not. I want to see BrickLink going. It's a reflection of me when it goes down. And then I got to be honest with you, it sucks on the East Coast or on the West Coast because it's 10 p.m. I'm like
10:50 every night.
I'm like, what is going on? Like, enhance.
Yeah, we get it. There's a lot of things that we get, and we have discussed, and that it's definitely been brought up before. And we could get rid of it right now, but then the site would run really slowly. You've got to keep it an indexing period. For people that don't know that, what we're talking about is it goes in and it's optimizing the database, to put it simply for you guys. Right.
But when you're on a single system, you cannot take the load while you're running the index, because you sort of have to halt activities as far as the transactions, and your checkout wouldn't be working. Nobody would be able to add anything. It would just be frozen, and they would get so many complaint tickets of, why is this pending? Why is this pending? Why is this pending?
Right.
Waiting for the indexing to be complete.
Right, and things get a lot of unnecessary data is purged during that time as well. So things like if an NSS has been completed, the feedback is removed during nightly maintenance. So that's something like every day, like, completed the NSS-wide feedback. So
there you go. That's an answer for people out there. Because you're
right.
not, if you file and complete it, the reason why you should complete an NSS is because your feedback from, if you get negative or neutral feedback from that buyer, or is it good feedback as well?
Any feedback.
Okay, so just cross the line. So they can't sneak in nasty feedback on a positive comment if you filed an NSS on them. You're protected. And that's why you should go forward and just suck it up for the 2 weeks that the pieces are out of the store to file an NSS if it's a worthy NSS, because we only have each other to police bad buyers.
Right, and use the report function in the problem center, because there's sometimes with we have so many users, and we really rely on people reporting bad behavior. We do have a tool now, which I requested, which is any seller that has 3 pending issues, or any buyer 3 pending issues at any time, it's there. So they're on that list, and we can just check and see what's going on, if they are just inactive, if they've placed hundreds of orders they don't plan on, as revenge. Does happen. We catch them a lot quicker now.
We've seen those too. We've seen a lot of those too.
Yes.
What about people aren't going to forgive me if I don't beat you up a little bit. What about IP spoofing, or people who have as their address New York and they're coming out of India, or they're coming out of anywhere, not to single out India, but the ones we've had recently, all 4 of them came out of India.
We're able to see that information. So it does flag if the IP doesn't match the address. And we're able to, if we need to, we can prevent them from coming back on the site. So we can block their access altogether. So yeah, we have a tool to see any matching IPs. So yeah, that's a way to just make sure, there's not someone that's trying to place revenge orders, which unfortunately has happened in the past. And so we can, reprimand them on their main account to make sure that they're not getting away with that. Because yes, unfortunately, it has happened in the past. So yeah, we definitely take care of stuff like that.
And you too, as a buyer, are protected of that as well. If you ever want to look up the location of the near proximity of your buyer, the IP address that the order was placed with is in the invoice that you receive. You can just look in there, go into Google and do the where is, and it'll give you an idea of where their provider is. So
right, not everyone's a big fan of that because of privacy issues, but historically it's always been that way. When someone places an order, you get the order confirmation with the buyer's IP address. So scammers are not ever really an issue anymore. I can't think of the last one ever since we changed the rules for sellers that they can't just immediately sign up and open a store. It's basically gotten rid of scammers, but once in a while a buyer will be underage and not really know what they're doing and place a bunch of orders, or get very angry at a situation and open another account. So yeah, we can definitely see those things and take care of it. So
there are some good underage buyers and sellers. There are. Yeah. We've discussed this. I will not snitch out the good kids. The good kids are good. They're learning an awesome life lesson. There are no paper routes available anymore.
It's against the rules if you are under 18. If you're not a legal age to enter into a order contract, technically, it causes problems. It always causes problems. So if there are the rare, there's like the rare AFL that I met in an event that they tell me that they joined BrickLink and started selling when they were under 18, like 14 or something. And I'm like, well, must have not had any issues, because I usually find them, it's pretty obvious. It's usually pretty obvious, but there are some that they must be really, really good and really responsible, and they manage to get through, but it's rare.
And I love the way that you break down how you search. And I've gone over with a lot of people on this about not the exact stuff that how you do, but how I think you do it. Because I think that what you're doing is going in and taking the person's name and of course Googling it, but then also just looking at the public tax record of who is taxed at that address. And if the first name doesn't match the first name, of the order, quite possibly a child.
I
That's
have
the
a
way I
lot
think
of
it's going,
different
because
ways.
it's all public information. Well, no, it's public information that people have access to. So
Right. Kids, yeah, there's a lot of things that they don't realize is public and easily accessible, but I can usually tell by the way that they word their messages and their name. Usually it's, I don't know, I've seen so many underage kids on BrickLink trying to act like adults that it's just, I can usually guess within a couple of years.
Way over adulty sometimes.
Yes. What do you mean? I'm 45 and
why is your language so rich?
There's this little hand holding this ID.
Congratulations on that track record last year.
So yeah, it's just I can usually guess like within a couple of years how old they are. It's just it's usually a dead giveaway just by the way that they talk, or their name or their email address or their username. So yeah, it's not as much of an issue.
There are some really good ones out there. You know, there are.
Those ones I probably don't know who they are, because otherwise, you know, I'm pretty strict on the rules. So as you know.
I know. Let's see. Okay, coupons once again. My thing is, I want, starting immediately, damn it, I want coupons to be automatically applied. So if somebody has a coupon in my store, I want it to be automatically applied to their order on checkout, because it's a fumbling point for people, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
I've actually made videos instructing people on how to apply a coupon, because
it's not the most intuitive thing in the
world. It's a little
bit hidden. Yeah, we can definitely address that. I can put in a suggestion for you.
No, immediately.
Okay, I will get that done. I'll work on that for you. I promise.
All right. Thank you.
I think it's a very good suggestion.
I had to beat you up a little bit.
No, I
got comments of thank you for defending all of the sellers in the free world and stuff like that type of comments. So,
well, I care about all of our sellers, so of course.
I know you do. I know you do. And the thing is,
anything that's going to make life easier and make buying Lego on BrickLink easier, I am a fan of. So yes.
And it's good to be able to introduce you to people as well, so that people sort of understand that there is sometimes when you're making these posts, you know the reaction is going to be god awful. Let's be fully honest. You knew that when you were going to post that Brick Arms thing, it was just going to be shit and brimstone coming down upon you for the next week. And
to put it lightly, yes.
You tried to interject some humor in your responses, because you were trying to say, and I got the humor when you were like, are we going to do Leppin? No. Are we open to it? Yes. What you were trying to say was, and I know you were about that comment. What you were trying to say is no, we don't want Leppin. We don't want any of that crap. But if it's Lego related, we'll look at it. We'll consider it, because you are considering it.
Yeah, basically, just if it's good enough and the demand is there, why not? You know, if Leppin suddenly became the most popular, one of the most popular AFOL supplementary items, you know, it's not supplementary, but if it did, and it were great quality, sure, but it's not, and it never will be. So I just wanted to say, you know, we're open to possibilities, but you know, we're not gonna have Leppin on the site.
Just to clarify right now, when we are specifically talking about the Leppin name.
Yes, we will not have Leppin on the site. You can have my word. No Leppin on BrickLink.
Thank you very much.
And if it is on BrickLink, let me know.
I think there's still people that are like, well, she said on the forum.
Right, I know. Sometimes I have to keep things a little vague on purpose, but just to clear that up, because I am a little sick of hearing it. No Leppin, okay? And I did not mean that we want to have Leppin or we're going to have Leppin on the site. No, and no.
I read it that way. I understood what you were saying, but I know you. You know, I realized I was reading the stress and frustration of everybody hates me as I'm typing this, and they don't even know what I'm typing yet.
It was a very tough week or two for me there. But I mean, I've been through this, plenty of times before. I've been at BrickLink nearly 4 years. So, people just need a place to vent, and then, things calm down and everyone goes about their business as they always did. So
you do have fans. You have fans that are sellers of your responses on the forum. Okay. There's people that are actually fans of you.
Maybe a couple, one or two.
X21. He's a fan.
Who, sorry?
Xfinity 21. He's a UK seller.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that I've just talked to personally. I've met them, or we've just I've helped them with an issue, and they've contacted the help desk, and then they realize that I'm a real person, and it's sometimes a little bit difficult being me versus 800,000 of you. So, I'm not going to make everyone happy, and it is. I hate saying this, but it is what it is. I can't please everyone. I just try to do what's right for the majority of BrickLink.
Yeah, and you are on Team BrickLink, as in not Team BrickLink the ownership, more Team BrickLink the perpetuation of a great site that is going to continue building Lego through the years. And
I respect.
People have to realize that.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of BrickLink. I'm really good friends with Dan's mom, Aliska, and I talk to her about him all the time and what he would have done and who he was. And I try to keep him in mind any decisions that I make, because, everyone really, they tell me all the time, what would Dan have done? Well, I do consider that. And I really respect the site that her son created. I respect our admins. They've seen everything. They've been around for over 10 years. So really, I just try to learn from our users. They taught me a lot about BrickLink history and all of the gossip and the drama and everything, all the great things that come along with BrickLink history. So yes, I'm Team BrickLink, even though I do, but so is our owner and our general manager. They are Team BrickLink too. It's just taken us a little bit of time to maybe get on the same page as BrickLink users, and but we do care, and no, we're not just about making money. We want to keep BrickLink alive because of what it's given to us as well as you guys. So. And yes, Jay, the owner of BrickLink, he is an AFOL, and that's why he wanted to take over BrickLink to keep it alive. So
that was
the goal.
That was our final question for the night. So not necessarily a softball, but I wanted people to know like a little bit about you and a little bit behind it, so that maybe you wouldn't get beat up so much on the forum. Maybe
I can handle it. It's okay. If it makes them feel better, then that's okay.
Well, no, maybe so you were more approachable, so that people were just like, I will feel better about submitting this because I know that the team that is under Jacqueline will be handling this, and will be looking at this and is considering this. And you are also. Can we talk about what project you're in charge of?
Right. Yeah. Seller tools, but it's been kind of put on hold. So, right. Because I know our users so well. I mean, I was the only one in customer service for so long, and it was as overwhelming as it was. It's made me such a better person. And I just really, my goal is to just make all the sellers on BrickLink successful, and everyone to come to BrickLink for anything they need Lego wise. So make it a lot easier and make people happy. So the forum is a little less of a scary place.
Maybe a faceless to the forum would make it a happier place.
I would love the forum to be a happy place, but yeah, I don't know if that's quite a difficult task, but
it is, and that's why I am the proponent of, all right, we're just going to let this run for like 6 months, and in 6 months you are going to get something awesome over here, and you can keep using this for the next year. But meanwhile, this is what we're going to be focusing on. And this is still this. It's just this is a usable form that, if Martha has to step out or if Bob has to step out for a life emergency, we're not stuck in a quagmire until they come back. And not that you guys are, but there are development companies and people that do development that are in those positions because the original code was just written stream of thought by a single individual who knew what they wanted. And I mean, unfortunately, that's the way that BrickLink was written. But, you know, you guys are trying to carve out pieces of it here and there. And, you know.
Yeah, we want to keep BrickLink, the core of what BrickLink is, you know, catalog, community, all of that. It's just, and just update it. And so that it's still what it is, but just usable to any casual person. I mean, it's, you know, BrickLink learning curve is very steep, and we want to invite more AFOLs in. We want to, you know, expand the community. So it's not like we're trying to take things away from anyone. You know, we just want to improve it and make it so that everyone can use it. And, you know, we don't want to be so hard to use that, you know, people just give up or they're frustrated and then they leave. You know, the whole point is to get more people in so that sellers are making more money. There's more items, more rare items on BrickLink, and just more people building and being creative.
There's a million little niches within the Lego community, so it's I love that you guys are trying to fill all of them, and that's good.
Definitely, it's just taking some time.
There's a lot of work, and it's a volunteer squad, so I mean, it's what gets done gets done.
Right. But yeah, we definitely want to make it easier. So especially contributing, selling, buying, everything. We want to simplify it, make it a lot easier. So
I'm telling you, go out and buy brick stock. Buy a developer, just run with it, make it, and keep updating it.
I am a fan of BrickStock, and
it's the one tool I recommend everybody use instead of BrickLink, because it is so difficult to go through and see what is my price on each and every element.
It's frustrating to have to tell people to use something that's not on BrickLink to make their BrickLink experience easier. So yeah, it's something that has been brought up before, and it will be brought up again, but I'm not saying it's a bad idea at all. So yeah, all of these things. No, I really do appreciate all of these suggestions. They're really good, and
they haven't been too much. You're gonna come back.
Oh yeah, for sure, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just been difficult to find subjects that are on Sunday.
So let us know. Shoot me a message. Let me know what weekend you want to join us again.
Okay.
And we'll talk about some other things.
We're going to be doing some live streams from Portland. We're going to Bricks Cascade, my team, next weekend. So so yeah, hopefully there'll be something pretty soon on our YouTube channels too. So.
Oh, good. Then we have some questions as well about your Instagram channel. If you guys are going to keep doing that again, I know that there was a lot of sellers out there that it was, you know, thrill of the week when they got reposted by BrickLink.
So yeah, I used to have a lot more.
There were so many people, like we've got little like sub DMs and stuff like that with the sellers and different people for different shows. And, you know, like every once in a while when you used to do that, somebody would be like, "Oh my God, BrickLink just reposted me." You know, it was a thrill. People dug it. You know, they got recognized.
No, I love that. I had a lot more time before the community's grown, and so was my position. So I used to have a lot more time to do social media stuff, and I love it. I mean, that was all me: the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I think it's great. But yeah, like I said, I don't have as much time. But
interns, you guys need interns. That's what it is.
Right. I recently was able to hire someone to help in customer service. So, and he is an video expert. So he really wants to help like relaunch our YouTube channel and do way more YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that. So now that we have more time, we're going to do a lot more from, you know, the events and Brick World and just, you know, the happenings at the office and stuff, because it's a lot of fun. And I love making someone's day when, you know, you repost them and they get so excited, like, "You're famous." I posted something from your Instagram and someone was saying, "Big B, you're famous."
I know. It happened to me, and I know it's a great feeling. I know from experience, like, how it feels. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to spread love to everybody.
I do love that. Yeah, I just got a little overwhelmed. It was just me.
There was some slight changes that have occurred in your life in the past year, so I'll forgive it. You know.
Yeah, right. I was off work for a couple of weeks at a wedding in Scotland, and I came back, and staff had changed, and so it was just me. We had no QA for a while, and so it was, people are like, "What's going on? Why isn't BrickLink responding?" We're not just sitting there. We're just really busy. So it's not like we don't care. It's not like we're not listening. Even when I'm super busy, the developers will read the forum and let me know what's going on if there's anything that I miss. So
they are. People don't realize that they're on there looking at those comments. They know what you say about them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know what everyone says about me. Thank you. Thank you for that. No, it's
I know.
I just have to laugh about it. It's really I say I'm the biggest BrickLink cheerleader, so the comments don't deter me. If anything, it spurs me on. I'm gonna make BrickLink what everyone wants it to be.
I will give you guys crap on occasion.
You do, but I appreciate it.
Please realize that I no longer work for a corporate entity. I work for myself now because of you.
Right.
Specifically, in part by you, because you're part of Team BrickLink, but I'm living the damn dream. So
right. No, I know, and
it's really.
I think of people like you all the time whenever I'm getting frustrated and, I see all the negativity and the pushback in the forum when we've been working on something and we just think it's great. We've been working on it for so long and then it's just all negativity. But I'm like, we're doing this for.
Yeah. Sometimes you really just want to type in there, it's just a fucking toy.
Well, I have to stay neutral and
I know.
It's not always easy, but
I know we're not allowed to use curse words in there because people will be offended.
Right, but I am gonna try to vocalize or communicate better with the community so they kind of know what's going on. It's difficult with how busy we are, but yeah.
People want to wear BrickLink T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
And they want to be able to buy exclusive Lego BrickLink polybags. So,
okay.
I'll get with Fu, and those things will be for sale in my store. No problem.
Yeah, no, I really want to get some T-shirts. That's on my list of things I want to sell. Whenever I go to convention, everyone's saying to me, "How do I get that T-shirt?" And a lot of the time, they don't realize I work for BrickLink. And then
you want to know a great way to get T-shirts out there? Give people points for updating the catalog.
Yes.
And when you get a certain amount of points, you get a prize.
Right. Yes, I'm familiar with that.
I'm not going to mention where I get that idea from.
I know.
I enjoyed the collection. I enjoyed the chase to get it as well. So I went through my list as much as possible. Like, what color eyes does this minifigure have? It's got blue, not NA. And like when they would pop up in an order, I'd fix it because I wanted to get some little poly bag. I'm telling you, T-shirts.
That's definitely something as well Russell and I have been talking about, and we're going to make a plan for that because we really want to encourage people to contribute. That's what we understand. It's pretty difficult, and especially when it's so difficult that people will maybe put in a placeholder number or they don't get it absolutely perfect, and then it may get thrown out, and it's because it's hard to communicate with contributors. So we definitely talk about it a lot, and we want to, because I'm familiar with the reward system on other websites, but I think it's such a great idea, and there's
a lot of positivity to be taken from it, and there might have been shade thrown back and forth a little bit earlier this year when announcements were made, but to be honest with you, that's just people staking out their territory. And if one person says I'm only going to do this, and you say, well, we're going to do that and other stuff that interests people that have an interest in that as well, then that's your game and that's their game. And I'm good with that. That's two separate games.
Right. No, I definitely want to any contributors, if they're watching, like we obviously appreciate you, and anyone that feels upset over any catalog decisions or if their work's been discarded for any reason, it's usually just because the communication tools aren't there, and so we want to improve it. We want to encourage people because a catalog is because of everybody. We want to invite more people in to help us. So yeah, it is something that's going to happen. I can say that with confidence. I really want to do that. It's just, we're not working on it yet, but we have started planning it, Russell and I. So that will happen.
I'm actually really happy that you guys aren't doing an app, that you're doing. No, I'm happy that you're not. Yeah. And the reason being is because it to me, it makes me feel as though maybe you guys are sort of focusing more on the actual website itself and the way that it's working, and not on other items that may draw in people eventually. But you know, it was a little, in my thoughts, putting a little bit of cart before the horse on things. Great tools that need to be done. If Lego's not going to support it anymore, somebody needs to, and it should be BrickLink. But we've worn through the time, and the time is now, and these things are coming. So let's all play nice with BrickLink and get Jacqueline some great suggestions. Is there any place that you won't get overwhelmed? Do you have a suggestions email address that people could, or if you say one now, is there the ability for you to get a person who runs the email domain to set up this email address for you in the future, so that people could just sort of write to sellertoolsuggestions@bricklink.com or something like that?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. We could definitely set something like that up. We have to, it takes a little bit of time because our email server's in Korea. So, but no, it's something that we could do. For now, before that gets set up, you can use customer support@bricklink.com or admin@bricklink.com. Those go to the help desk, and any suggestions you have, we will save them, and depending on what it's about, we'll put it in the relevant spreadsheet. And if it's something that I think is going to immediately help the site, that maybe won't be too complicated or difficult, you know, technically feasible, I'll add it to Jira, our project management software.
Made by Atlassian.
Right.
Company. No, I'm saying this because this is what modern companies are using for stuff, and I'm trying to reinforce that it's not that you guys are moving forward with a lot of things where there has been stumbling in the past. So
yeah, we used we didn't really have, we had our bug tracking in Redmine, but if anyone knows Redmine, it's pretty old school compared to Jira. So we just all kind of took some time for us to all get comfortable with that. But no,
I'm really glad that you guys are, because it allows the tickets to be transferred and tracked over. The devs can look at how many times does this come in. Oh, there is a correlation, and it leverages a lot of great things. So was very happy when I saw that a while ago.
Yes, me too. I'm happy with it. It's a lot easier to use. It just so much more you can do with it. So yeah, we're really getting organized, and there are some suggestions that come in that we implement. I mean, with like the next deployment. So sometimes it's only
like automatically applied coupons, right?
Possibly. I'll see if it's, obviously I always have to check if it's technically feasible, if there's going to be a side effect. If there is going to possibly be a side effect, we have to be careful. So
well, just know going into here, if you're going to come back on the next show, I'm going to try to, every single show you're on, press you for one immediate step forward for our community. This one is going to be for the buyers. All right.
So coupons to be automatically applied, I think it should be pretty easy to implement, and I'll see what I can do. Obviously, I can't plan anything without talking to the team, but
do me a favor. If you guys roll it out, please go on to the BrickLink Instagram account and let me know through a post through there.
Okay. I'll give you credit.
Famous again.
All right. Yeah, we're definitely going to be more involved on social media. Like, it used to be just me, like I said, then I got a little overwhelmed and had to really focus on making things work for BrickLink users instead of just, fun on social media. But there'll be a lot more of this.
You guys can qualify for an intern. Free labor.
It's, like I said, it's not a bad idea. It's just something that I'd have to talk to the team about, especially HR and stuff like that. But no, these are all really great suggestions, and I appreciate them a lot. I always appreciate your suggestions that you send me. So anyone has anything they want to say, even anything, send it over. You know, we're listening.
In the next show,
we're listening to everything.
But on the next show, we're gonna have an email address that people can directly email seller ideas to. I think that this will be good for you as well for tracking all of these ideas, so that you guys can just go to that account and be like, here's an idea, whatever big meeting you guys are going to have to hash these things out and prioritize, thumb up and thumb down them, you know. And because God, nobody's gonna read through all those forum posts about what's good and what's bad, because somebody's gonna throw a great idea in the middle of a comment and it's never gonna get submitted.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to. And sometimes it's hard to get through, you know, entire threads, because, you know, sometimes it's just, you know, people are just ripping you to shreds, and it's sometimes it's hard to extract what, you know, the really great suggestions. And so yeah, for right now, admin@bricklink.com or customer support, just one word, @bricklink.com. And then when there's another email address for just feedback or seller tools, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. And it's because I want to see you guys emailing us. I don't want to go and check the forum. I don't want to have to track that for when there's a change. I just want an email that's going to come to me because I've subscribed to it that says, yes, I want to know about bugs that you found. I want to know about this that you've implemented.
Yes.
Shoot me the log.
Right. And that's something we've been talking about a lot recently, how we need to focus on that, the email subscription for different things, seller, newsletter, technical issues, anything like that. We can kind of separate, and whoever wants to follow it can follow it, so they're not missing anything, updates or changes to catalog items, even something's going to be marked for deletion, all those types of things that are important for sellers to know. We want to work on that. So stay tuned. Hopefully it'll be soon, but
big steps, a lot of steps, but these are all part of seller tools.
Yes. So once we have a lot more work done on mobile, then that will happen. So it'll be this year at some point. We'll start working on it. And once I have more info and more of a detail, like a better timeline, I'll definitely let you know too.
All right, I'm going to hold you to December 31st rollout.
Oh no.
Let's do a giant code rollout during the biggest buying cycle of the year. Nothing's going to go wrong.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm going to let you go. I see activity back behind all around. I've already kept you for half an hour more than I asked. I really appreciate it. That was a really fast 90-minute show for me. You've answered so many questions for people. Thank you so much.
Perfect timing. My toddler's having a meltdown. So thank you so much for having me. And like I said, I'm so sorry about missing it last week. It was a nightmare day. So
that's all right. And hopefully, you know, you had enough softballs that a couple tough questions weren't too bad.
No, this is great. I can't wait to come on again. And I'll see if anyone else from the team would want to.
Yeah, totally. Too. We'll play nice. I will play nice.
It may just be the people on my team because I can force them, but
let them watch the video beforehand if they still think I'm that really scary evil guy.
No, I can definitely get Russell and Shane on here to talk. You know, we all talk about BrickLink just all day, every day, and so I'm sure they would love to come on and talk to you. So
okay,
all right.
25 viewers right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry if we bored you.
I'm Big B. This was Manager Jacqueline from BrickLink.
Admin Jacqueline.
Admin Jack is your old name, though. I say Manager Jacqueline because you are a manager now, and I don't want people to think that, you know, you're a decision maker now. That's all.
Right. Not the decision maker,
no,
but
not the decision maker, but you're a decision maker, and you know, Admin Jack sort of, people may think that you're just in the trenches, and you're actually you're a force at BrickLink, and that's why I have changed your nickname for you to reflect that.
Well, thank you. Yes, and if something's important to me and the community trusts me, I make sure my voice is heard. So, you know, feel free to contact me with anything. And sometimes I'm really busy and don't reply immediately, but I am reading all your messages, and I do care. So yeah, please don't just go on the forum and say, she doesn't care and she just ignores me, because it's not true. I probably just have like 100 people ahead of you that are wanting an answer. So.
There's a queue.
Yes, always. So
time stamped, and that's where it goes.
Just know that we're busy, but we care. So
when changes occur, things happen, people write about it. Your message might have a little time delayed. I get it. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you missed part of the show, go back and watch it. A lot of good questions, a lot of great responses and answers to things that we kind of thought were going to happen. Now you guys know what's coming next. Hopefully this satisfies a few questions, and don't forget to tune in next week. And don't forget, if you guys are using Brickstock or Brickstink for any reason, and it has made you money, you need to make sure you go out there and purchase that from that developer. We have no tools as sellers, and you really need to support the people that are supporting you. We would have nothing without them, and you've got to say your thanks to these folks. So if anybody has given you any information or any depth in your field, your chosen duty of slinging brick, go ahead and throw them a little thanks, or put an order in their store, or do whatever you want to make that thank you be known. And just put in the comment like, hey, I learned this from you, and we'll talk about it. And say, well, hey, good thing that they learned that. See y'all next week. Thanks for joining.